What's going on, people? Nintendo believes that the Switch could sell beyond 5 or 6 years, which is the normal life cycle for their products. I mean, have we ever really seen a Nintendo system stay on the market longer than that? I don't recall one staying on the market longer than that. Even during the PS3 and the 360, which lasted fuck a decade. The Wii was out for like 5 years. The Wii U came out and it was on the market for like a year or so. Um, I mean, the Wii wasn't but like a 5 year system. So I mean, while the PS3 and this 360 were, you know, long generations, even the Wii didn't carry on that long. So Nintendo's now talking about having a longer life cycle, which let's be honest here, okay? You could think whatever you want to about well, they can't do that with this. But again, let's be clear here, okay? Why couldn't they? Okay, the Switch is highly successful. It's highly successful. People are drawn to this machine. Okay, I have one. I bought mine day one, like a lot of people out there have. Within its first physical year, it has beaten and outsold its predecessor, which is crazy. Not anybody under the sun has ever done that. Um, you have what else? It's the fastest selling console of all time, beating the PS2. Um, you have major third party support on this system, which was something that missed the Wii U completely. You have major third party developers coming back to Nintendo, which left them for a while. They're coming back. Nintendo is starting to show a lot of love to more than just the casual market, even though they are still showing casual gamers a lot of love. They are showing more love to the more hardcore market. So when you think of stuff like that, I want you to understand this is something that definitely could last longer than 5 years, especially when you think about that one word. I've said this word quite a few times: convenience. The Switch is very convenient, okay? You don't have to have this machine connected just to your television. So, thinking in terms of this, the Switch could definitely see a longer life cycle. Alright? I mean, let's look at the PS3, let's look at the 360. There were iterations of that machine. Okay, you had the 360, which came out, it stood upright, and you had the hard drive, which sat on top of the machine. That was the first iteration. Then they had iterations of that one, which was just the basic bitch one. They had I think there was a pro one, and then there was an elite one. And they were all similar kinds, but they were all, different models. Then you came out with the Slim from Xbox. And that had two different models. Well, three. No, there were like, I don't remember how many exact models there were, but you had the one with the built-in 4 gigs, and then they started coming out with ones with higher gig models, right? And then you had the Elite of the Slim, which looks like a Xbox One, which a lot of people get that confused. But it had different iterations. That was in that generation. Same thing with the PS3. You had the fat bitch that cost $600 fucking dollars, which drove off 90% of their fucking business when they did that. You can hate me for that, but that is exactly what that did. Okay? And then they came out with the slim model. And then what they do right at the end, they came out with the super slim model, which is where it costs like $200. So there were iterations of each one of those. There was even an iteration of the Wii, the original Wii. You had the original Wii, which was white and black. Then you had the red one with no internet connection. Then you had the Wii U. There were two iterations, a white and a black. White had the 8 gig and the black had the 32 gig. Okay, then you have the PS4, you have the PS4 base model, you have the PS4 Slim model, you have the PS4 Pro model, which is a mid mid-gen refresh. Same thing with Xbox. Xbox, although with Xbox this generation, it does get a little tricky because with the Xbox One Slim, I'll explain that. It's Xbox One 2013 model, which is a VCR looking bitch, which nobody liked. Then you have the Xbox One Slim. This is where it gets tricky because it's not like the PS4 Slim, where it's all the same, excuse me, and they just ripped out like a place to plug in your surround sound. The Xbox One Slim, in fact, took out the part where you plug directly into the Kinect. You have to, in fact, plug in a different part so you can have the Kinect. But they added in 4K Blu-ray technology into the Xbox. They took away that big annoying brick and put that into the Xbox itself, so it's no longer a thing. It's just a cord. They added in HDR technology to the Slim on certain games. I mean, the Xbox One Slim is actually a halfway refresh to the Xbox One X, which is why I'm saying I don't see why the Switch would be any different. You can say what you want to because you might feel some type of way about Nintendo, but with Nintendo and this handheld and the fact that it's a hybrid, they could get away with it. Okay? Oh, you don't like Nintendo? Get outside your feelings here, okay? Take that shit to somewhere else, okay? But the fact that both Xbox and fucking PlayStation have done mid-gen refreshes, Nintendo could do it. They could do that. They could get away with it, okay? The fact this model came out and has been this successful within 1 year. It's not even been a year yet and it's this successful. Imagine if it came out more powerful with a refresh. Not next year, but like say 3 years out, right? Just like with Xbox and PlayStation. 3 years out, they come out with a refresh. It's got more power in it. But it's exactly the same, right? You just buy it and you don't have to do anything. You can keep the two controllers, but it's just a tablet. The tablet's more powerful, like what they do with tablets. Say the tablet has more power now. You can get the tablet part of the Switch, and that's all you have to buy. And they just keep going with the tablet. That could be a thing that Nintendo does. And in fact, I would support that. You know, in fact, instead of costing $300, it cost $150. If they did that, they could keep this thing going for like the next 20 years if they wanted to. You see what I'm saying? Because it would take away the need to create these things. You see what I'm saying? These cartridges. And because tablets and phones are already digital media devices any fucking way. I mean, who's to say... Okay, I'm trying to make sure I put the game back in the right spot. Who's to say that the Switch wouldn't be able to just adopt that digital media? You see what I'm saying? If they just stayed with the whole tablet. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the Switch mid-gen refresh is a more updated tablet, like what they do with the, what is that? The Samsung tablet, right? The Galaxy Tab, or whatever the fuck Apple calls their tablet, which I don't know. I'm not an Apple fucking person. Not because I don't like them, it's just their shit. I don't like typing in a passcode every time I want to jump on a store. Nor do I like the fact that there's an update what seems like every fucking day. So anyway, that aside, if they came out with a new tablet that's all you had to buy and would say like $150 for, excuse me, like every 3-4 years, and it improved on what the base of it was, and all it was the tablet, right? You still got to keep your day one, the fuck are those called? The charging dock. You still got to use that because it still used those. This could work insanely good. It could do insanely well. Nintendo could be set for beyond the future. They could be set to make millions, if not billions of dollars with this thing. You see what I'm saying? And that's just off the simple fact that how well it's already done within its first year. And if third-party support continues to come in, if we see games continue to roll out from Capcom, if we see continued support from Rockstar, if we see continued support from Bethesda and all these other third-party support companies, and Nintendo sets that plan in motion, it would be unstoppable. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we already know content's going to the digital age. We already see that. We already see that happening. And with the Switch, all they gotta do is improve upon what they already have. You see what I'm saying? We have a tablet. Tablets are an easy thing to, just make. It's easy. All we have to do is improve the chipset in there. And then just sell that tablet and just let the people who already bought it keep these parts, the Joy-Cons. Just let them keep using what they already have, which is something that Nintendo kind of already adopted in what they do. I mean, we already get to use micro SD cards. That's something that Nintendo's always been a pro-consumer about, Oh, no, you have to buy a Nintendo save card. No. You get to use the SD cards that are already on the market. They're not PlayStation, where you have to buy a PlayStation memory card, which is way overpriced. That's not Nintendo. Nintendo's like, go buy an SD card that's like $5, and it's like 8 gigs. Plug it in your 3DS or your new 3DS, and you're set. Or buy a micro SD card, plug it into your new 3DS, and you're set for like forever, because the fucking memory is outrageous. Mine's got like a 64 gigs in that bitch. It's still not even half full. My Switch has like 64 gigs in that bitch, and I paid like $10 for it. So, I mean, think about it. If they came out with a refresh and they decided to go 128 gigs, 500 gigs on that bitch, whatever they decided to do, and they improved all the chipset in there, and all they did was come out with a tablet, and the tablet could still be used in the same docking system, and that's all they did was just come out with a tablet, and it was a mid-gen refresh, it could work. You see what I'm saying? It could work, it could print money, and all they'd have to have is just third-party support. And I think it could build even more third-party support. See what I'm saying? So, this definitely is something that, if they're smart about it, Nintendo could definitely see have a much longer life cycle than just 5-6 years. Definitely could see that happening if they're smart about it. As long as they don't pull that PS Pro. As long as they don't pull the PS4 Pro with the Switch, they could last way longer than 5-6 years. We all know the PS4 Pro was not upgraded enough to justify buying one unless you had just jumped into the PS4 Pro from the PS3. It legitimately just didn't have enough power. It's not the Xbox One X, which was a full-on upgrade if you look at it. And I hate to dog PlayStation talking about that, but I mean, who in the hell looked at the PS4 Pro going, this is totally worth it? Nobody. And if they did a full-on upgrade of the Switch with chips and let you keep all the shits that you already have, I have 4 of these and a Pro controller, and they let you keep the dock, and they showed you improvements, and you can still play all the games that you already have, then nothing is gonna hold the Switch back. You know what I'm saying? If it goes from being like, oh, the first one you bought was 32 gigs, the refresh is gonna have a more powerful chipset in there. It's gonna have 128 gigs. It's gonna be faster load times, like what they did with the new 3DS. Then definitely could see some more people running out and buying it. Could see a lot more stuff going on with it if they did that. But this is just a whole bunch of speculation from me if they did that. See what I'm saying? So, with them talking about wanting to do stuff like seeing this last longer than that, and the fact that this is a more convenient system than just your PS4s and Xbox Ones because they have to be legitimately attached to the damn TV, where the Switch can go with you. Pardon me, if they did that, this thing could last like the next 20 years. All they have to do is update that damn tablet. That's all they have to do. And tablets are updated like every fucking year. So, think about it. Deuces.